Try to eliminate this negative 9x by adding it plus 9x to each side. I know most of you know how to do this by now. Okay, but just to refresh your memory. So negative 9x and plus 9x, they cancel, and you get only 21 in the first side. So you get 21 equals, and then you add 2x and 9x. 2x plus 9x equals 11x. And you have this minus 1. Don't forget it, minus 1. Now, we add 1 to each side. Of course, when you work on your own, you have to be quicker than me, because I am explaining. 21 plus 1 equals 22. And this is equals 11x. So what's the next operation? Who knows? Yes, divide by 11 each side. You cancel this 11 and you get your x. And 22 divided by 11 equals 2. And that's why your option is 2. For this question, you have minus 4x. And you have minus 4x here. You can add 4x to each side. So when you add 4x to each side, this negative 4x cancels. Okay? And you get negative 9 equals 7. As you can see, x disappears. And you look at this and you say it's false. What does it mean? This means that the equation has no solution. And that's why here the option is no solution. Okay. Find the 3 consecutive odd integers with the sum of 123. So always call your first one x, okay? And make sure you know it's an odd integer. The other two are x plus 2, x plus 4, the second and the third. Remember to go from one odd to another odd. You have here an odd. And the next one that is odd, you have to add 2. If you add 2, you jump from one odd to another odd. Example, in your head, if 1 is odd, the next one is 3. So how much you skip? You skip the 2, yes? So how much you add to 1 to get 3? You add 2. Okay, and to go to the next one, which is 5, you have always to add 2. And that's how it happens. To go from one odd to another odd, you add 2. And that's why here, what they did, they called one of them x, and the next two are x plus 2, x plus 4. Why plus 4? Because you add 2 to x plus 2. This x plus 2, you add 2 to it. So if you have x plus 2, and you go to the next one, you add 2. If you simplify it, you get x plus 4. Okay? Right, I'm trying to guess what is worrying you and try to answer it before you ask me. Now, the sum of all of this is 123. So you put x, which is the first one, plus x plus 2, which is the second one, plus x plus 4, which is the third one, equals 123. Okay, now we have set our equation. We need to solve it. Add x to x to x, you get 3x. Add 2 to 4, you get 6. This is what we call simplifying, collecting like terms, okay? Now we start solving. We have an equation, and all of you know how to solve it. Minus 6 minus 6. And you get 3x equal 117, because 123 minus 6 equals 117. And then divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, 117 divided by 3. You do it, you get 39. So your x is 39. Make sure you don't stop here. Okay? You need to find all the odd numbers after 39, because they ask you to find 3 consecutive odd numbers. So there are 3. The first one is 39. The next one add 2. And the next one add 2. So 39, 41, and 43, and you're done. You can check, by the way, if you are in the exam, and they give you multiple choice, and if you're confused and you don't know how to do this, you can actually be smart. Just add this, and you get 123, and make sure they are odd. They might trick you. They put 38 and 40 and 42, for example. These are even, so you don't add them. Okay, just take the odd ones and add them. If you get 123, you are correct. The next one, solving absolute value equations. As you can see, I just explained the answer here. You have -8, you have to do +8. Okay, that's the first thing you have to do. And that's why you get here 12 + 8, which is exactly 20. The only step I have done here from here to here is just +8 and simplify. Okay, now don't do what I've seen in some of your answers, not all of you, some of you, they add 5 here. Don't add 5 because you have absolute value. So you cannot start with this. You should get an equation without absolute value. Usually, when you have an absolute value equation, you get 2. One with +20, one with -20, because absolute value of 20 equals 20. And absolute value of -20 also equals 20. And that's why what's inside the absolute value can be 20 and can be -20. Okay. Now we just solve these two equations. Okay, here you have -5, so you have to add 5, and you get 25, and then divide by 10, you get 25 divided by 10, which is 2.5. As fraction, you might get an option 5/2. So it depends on how they give you the option in the exam. They can give it to you as a fraction, they can give it to you as a decimal. Make sure you know that both of them are the same. Okay. In the second one, we add 5 to -20, we get -15. And this is your -15. And you divide by 10, each side you get -15/10, which is -1.5. As fraction, you can have -15/10, just simplify by 5, divide by 5, you get -3/2. So make sure in the exam, you look for fraction and you look for decimal. Here's another question. In the past 2 years, a retailer has opened 232 stores. This is in 2 years. If the rate of growth remains constant, how many stores will the retailer open in the next 3 years? So you use ratios. This is how you start. You take your 232 over 2 years. So here you have stores, here you have years. Okay? Make sure you respect the order. Store over years, and you do the same for the second ratio. How many stores will be the retailer open in 3 years? So you put over 3, and you put X, or you put R, or you put whatever variable you like. Okay? And that's it. As soon as you put this ratio, you are done. What you need to do, just cross multiply. Remember the cross product, 2 times 232 equals R times 2. We call this the cross product, okay? And now just solve. You can multiply by 3. You can actually, I don't like to multiply. I would like, this is the revision sheet method. I would like you to do it this way. 232 times 3 equals 2R. You divide by 2, okay, before you multiply. A variable. Okay, if you are good at solving for X, you are good at solving for any variable. In this case, we solve for W. I told you last time, highlight or underline your variable. So you need to get your variable W underlined. Okay, first step, get rid of these 2. You have 2 as a fraction, a denominator. To get rid of it, multiply by 2. So you multiply everything by 2. So 2 times R, 2R, 2 times 4W, 8W, 2 times the fraction, you get only the numerator. You cancel the 2. Now we don't have fraction. Collect the W's together, because you're looking for W, remember. Okay, so I'm going to underline my W again. This is my W. I need to collect it on one side. So to do that, I have to subtract, okay, 3W. Subtract 3W from each side, minus 3W. Some of you, they do it this way. Some, they just transpose or move it to the other side and change the sign. It's up to you. You do it the way you like, okay? As far as you get this, okay? And now move this to R the way you like. Subtract from each side or just move it and change the sign. You get L minus 2R. And 8 minus 3W, 8 minus 3 is 5. You get 5W. Remember, we're looking for W. The question is look for W. So you divide by 5 each side and you're done. That's your answer. Graph the function below and state the slope. As you can see, in this question, they are asking you for the slope. And that's why it's better you find the slope. To find the slope, remember the slope form is on the form y equal mx plus b. And this m is the slope. Just remember this, okay? So if you want to find the slope, you need to change your equation on this form. And that's why here they have changed it to this form. Can you see? It's on the form, slope-intercept form. If you want to know how to do that, I'm going to show you the steps. It's very simple. Okay, so this is my equation, 7x minus y equals 7. And I need to solve for y. Just solve for y. So I need this y on one side. Okay, so what do? I subtract 7x minus 7x minus 7x. Okay, there are many ways. Maybe some of you, they think to move y to the other side. You can do that, but you can do it anyway. So when you subtract 7x, you get negative y equals minus 7x plus 7. Now you have this minus. To eliminate it, multiply by negative 1. Okay, so you multiply everything by minus, you get y, because minus times minus equals plus, and minus times minus equals plus, so you get 7x, and minus times plus equals minus. That's how you get it. Okay, y equals 7x minus 7. The slope is 7. This is 7, okay, in front of x, and that's why we found the slope is 7. Now, how to draw it? Okay, because we have the slope-intercept form, this form is the slope-intercept form. It's very easy to draw. You go to your y-axis and you put negative 7 on the y-axis. This point, call it negative 7. Okay, and then you draw using the slope. How do you draw using the slope? Go 1 unit to the right and 7 unit up. Okay, and you get your point, and then you join your lines, and this is what you have here. Here's negative 7, and then 1 unit to the right and 7 unit up. As you can see, this is 7 because you said here it's negative 7. Can you see? Can you see here the scale? Every 1 unit is 7. So make sure you look at the scale. This is not 1. This one is not 1. It's 7. So make sure you be careful at this. This length, one grid in the grid is 7. It says here 7. It goes in 7. 7, 14, 21. And here negative 7, negative 14, negative 21. Okay. So this scale is misleading. Some of you, they might get misled because they go 1 and they think they have to go 7 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they say the paper is not enough. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they think the line is like this. This is wrong. Make sure you respect the scale. Okay, so this is not 1. This is 7. Is that clear? So be careful at this graph in the exam. Make sure you read the scale properly. Okay, when you read in the axis, read the scale. You need to know what is 1, what is 2, what is 7. And that's it. And you draw your line. Any question? Okay, let's go to the next one. Find the value of x so that the line passing through x negative 7 and 1 and 2 has the given slope m equals 3. So what do? You just use the definition of the slope, change in y over change in x. Okay, so m equals change in y, which is negative 7 and 2, minus 7 minus 2. I'm doing it another way. Look, here they're doing 2 plus 7. I'm doing this direction. And then x minus, okay, which is the change in x. You have here x and you have here 1. So you do x minus 1, same direction. And then you have the slope given, this slope, m equals 3. So what do? Instead of m, you put 3. Okay, equals, what did they have here? 7. Negative 7 minus 2 is negative 9 over x minus 1. And then cross multiply. This is over 1, and you do your cross multiply. Now just cross multiply, and you get 3 times x, 3x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 equals 1 times negative 9, which is negative 9. And then solve. Plus 3 plus 3. Here we are doing another equation. And you get 3x equals negative 6. Divided by 3, you get x equals negative 2. And you see I got the same answer. I used a different way to subtract, to do the change in y and change in x, but I got the same answer. Okay, so what do? Is just subtract these two numbers. Okay, minus 64 minus negative 34. That's how we do it. Always second minus first. Okay, and then this gives you minus 64 plus 34, which is exactly negative 30. Okay, that's how you calculate the common difference. Now the next question, given the first term is 35 and the common difference, this d is the common difference, okay? Negative 20, find the equation of the nth term and the next 4 terms. So the equation of the nth term is using the formula, okay? So an is the nth term equals the first term, a1, if you remember the formula, plus n minus 1 times d. This is your formula. And then you substitute, you get this. So if you substitute, you get an equals, a1 is given 35, so you put 35 here, plus n, you leave it n, okay? You don't need to worry about n, because they said the nth, they didn't say the 10th or the 20th, so you leave it n, times d, and d is negative 20. Okay? As you can see, they left it like this. You might get different versions in the answer. You might get it simplified. If you get it simplified, you can simplify your answer. Multiply negative 20 over the bracket. Okay, so let's simplify it for you. An equals 35 minus 20n, and minus 20 times minus 1 equals plus 20. Plus 20. And that means an equals negative 20n. I put it in order. And then 20 and 35 is 55. So you might get this option in your answer in the exam. So you might get it on this form, you might get it on this form, or you get it on this form. You have to be smart to know that you can simplify to get the form given in the question. Okay, right, so we finished this one. Now the next part is find the next 4 terms. The next 4 terms, you can use this, or you can use just the difference. So the first one is 35. The next one is 35 plus negative 20, okay, which is 35 minus 20, which is 15. The next one is 15 plus the difference, negative 20, which is negative 5. The next one is negative 5 plus the common difference. So it gives you negative 25, and so on. Every time you add this common difference, and you get all your terms. If they ask for 20, you give them 20. If they ask 2, you give them 2. It depends on how many terms they want. Here they want the next 4 terms. So this is my first one, 35, and then these are the next 4. Second, third, fourth, fifth. So they are 4 after 35. Any question? Okay, so let's start with A. A slope-intercept, remember, it's y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the intercept. This is the second time we'll talk about it today, okay? So I go to A. I try to find the slope, okay? Actually, if you look at A, this point is the intercept. Who can tell me what's the value of y for this point? Who can try? Just try. You lose nothing. Just tell me, how much is this on the y, on this axis? Look, this is 5. Can you see it? Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 1. And this is your intercept. This is your b. Okay, now we need to find the slope. So if I want to go from this point to this point, I count the run and the rise. So the run are 3. And the rise actually is down 2. Okay, so it's negative 2 over 3. That's your slope. M equals negative 2 over 3. Now we go to the equation. So y equals negative 2 over 3, which is the slope, times x plus b, which is 1. Any question? I'm going to explain again with line B. I'll go to the intercept. This is my intercept. The y-intercept, remember? The y-axis, okay? The y-axis, this axis. The y-intercept, okay? So, what is the y-intercept? Who can tell me? 1, 2, 3.
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Now the slope. Make sure when you calculate the slope, you use 2 points on the grid. One of them is this one, negative 3, this point, because you already located it. And then I can choose this point. Can you see it's on the grid? I'm not choosing this one. Very silly if I choose this one. So I choose this one. And I draw my rise and run. Who can tell me what is the run? What is the rise? What is the run?
Negative 2.
Actually, it's going positive, going this direction.
No, 2.
This is positive, so this is 2. What is the rise?
5.
2, 3, 4, 5. Plus or minus?
Minus.
Is it going up or going down? You go like this, up. Can you see? If you want to go, you go right, and then you go up. Can you see? So you're going up, so it's plus. So it's plus 5. So my slope m equals 5 over 2. Now I have the slope, and I have the intercept. Okay, my intercept is negative 3. This is b. Okay, and this is m. From the graph, you get them easily. Just put in the equation. y equals mb, which is 5/2 x mx plus b, which is plus -3. Of course, you don't leave it plus -3, yes? So plus negative plus minus is minus, so you get 5/2x minus 3. That's your y. Okay. Here we are. Make sure you revise all this, okay? Now, let me go to the next question. They want the equation of a line that goes through these 2 points. So we repeat again, we find the slope, change in y over change in x. This is change in y over change in x. Okay, -5, -3, -5 minus -3. Minus -3 is +3. That's why they put -5 plus 3. Okay, and then -2 minus -3. And that's why they put +3 again. Okay, and now just simplify. Make sure you know that -5 plus 3 equals -2. Okay, that's your numerator. And -2 plus 3 in the denominator equals 1. And that's why they put 1 here. And then make sure you know that -2 divided by 1 equals -2. And that's your slope. Okay. After this, you use the formula for slope point. Slope point. Okay, y minus y1 equals slope times x minus x1. Take note of this formula if you forgot it. Take note of it because I'm going to delete it. Okay, so minus y1, you can take any point. You can take this point, you can take this point. They have taken the 5. That means they've taken the first point, which is this one. Okay, so y1 is -5. So you say y minus -5 equals, the slope is -2. This is my m, -2 times x minus x1. x1 is -2 minus -2. Minus with minus, negative is plus, and that's why they put this +5 here, y plus 5. Y minus -5 is y plus 5. And then this minus with this minus becomes plus. Remember, minus plus. And then -2 times x is -2x. And -2 times +4 is -4. Okay, let me clear this so you understand. So I explained to you up to here. What they have done next, they subtracted 5 because they want the slope-intercept form. -5 minus 5 from each side, you get -9. -4 and -5 equals -9, and you get your slope-intercept form for the equation through these 2 points. Any question? Next question. Which the following represents the equation of straight line that is parallel to the x-axis? Remember, parallel to the x-axis is like this. This is your x-axis. Parallel to x-axis is always y equals a number. So don't take the x. So you have 2 options. Y equals 9, y equal to x. Y equal to x is not parallel to the x-axis. The y equal to x is like this. Okay, because there is x. So it has to be y equals constant. Okay, constant. And that's why you take this option. There is only one option here. Okay, remember, horizontal line or parallel to the x-axis, always y equals a constant, equals a number. There is no variable in it. The only variable is y. Now, which of the following linear equation has a slope -1? This is slope 0, so don't be silly. Okay. Now, they have taken this option. How do they know? Actually, it's easy. You have to make it y equals slope-intercept form. So you have to move this x to the second side, and you get y equals negative x plus 1. As you can see, this is your m. Negative x means negative 1 times x. Okay? And that's why the slope is negative 1. Okay? Is this clear? Now I ask a question. What is the slope of this one? In D. What is the slope here? Who can tell me?
1.
Okay, going to you. 1. 1 minus equals negative 1. You have first to move this negative x to the second side. You get y. You have to change the sign because you add it. You get x minus 1. As you can see, this is like 1x minus 1. So your m equals 1. So your slope is 1. Okay. Even this one, the slope is 1. This one. Okay, make sure you know this one, the slope is 0, because there is no x. And this is a horizontal line. Okay, so let's go to the next part. For which function does f of half different than 2? If you calculate here x with half, you get 2 times half plus 1. 2 times half is 1, plus 1 is 2, so this is 2. This exactly 2. So in this one, f of half equals 2. They're looking for the function that makes it different than 2. So it's not 8. Okay? We go to this one. This is easy. Always start with the easy ones, okay? 4 times half. Just substitute x with half. Remember, this is x, okay? This is x. So you put x equals half. You put here x equals half. 4 times half equals 2. So this one gives 2. So it's not D. As you can see, we have only 2 options left. Okay? So it's not A, it's not D. We have these 2 options left. Okay? Let me try this one and show you that this one is as well 2. So 6x minus 1, if you do it without the smallest integer, you get 6 times half minus 1, which is 3 minus 1, which is 2. And the smallest integer of 2, okay, is 2. So this is as well 2. So definitely this is the one that doesn't give 2. If you are lucky, you start with this one, okay? If you're lucky, you don't waste time in the exam. This is where we say someone is lucky. Okay, you start with this one and you substitute with half. You get 2 times half plus 2, absolute value. 2 times half is 1. This is exactly 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So this is absolute value of 3, which is 3, and it's not 2, as you can see. So this is the only one that doesn't give you 2. Okay. Next one. Evaluate the piecewise function for x equal negative 8. If you remember, x equal negative 8 is not here. Sorry, it's here actually. X equal negative 8 is here. It's not here because here x are between 5 and 8, and here x are more than 8. If I draw the line and I put 5 and I put 8, okay, more than 8 are here, between 5 and 8 is here. Less than 5 minus 8 is here. So I'm going to use this expression. That's how I do this calculation, okay? So make sure you know how to choose which expression. In piecewise, okay, x equal negative 8, you look which interval it is. It's in one of these 3. Okay, so it's not here, it's not here, so it's here. So you have to use this expression, and you just do 2 minus x. 2 minus x. And my x is negative 8. So 2 minus negative 8, which is 2 plus 8, which is 10. And that's your answer. So let's explain this one. Graph the function below and state the domain and range. Here's your function. Domain, absolute value or in numbers. You don't need to think. A range after you graph. After you graph, you get the range. So you cannot state the range before you graph. And if you remember, we dressed a table for this, if you remember, okay? I forgot how to do it, but I remember I have used what makes this 0, which is x equals 2. And I put it in the middle. This is your x, this is your 2, okay? And then for x equal 2, I get my vertex for the graph. So for x equal 2, what is x minus 2? Absolute value, it's 0. Remember. You remember this? We did it in class kick. We find the 0, and then we get values before 2 and values after 2. You can have one value and one value. Okay, and then what is the y when x equals 2? Just substitute. This is 0 times negative 2 is 0 plus 3. This is equal 3. And that's why I get 0.23. So x equals 2 and y equals 3. And as you can see, here's the point in the graph. Can you see it? In the graph, this is 2 and this is 3, the vertex. Okay. Now you just need 2 points, one before 2 here and one after 2. So before 2, you can take 0. Okay. And substitute in x minus 2. Let me clear this. Substitute in x minus 2 first. So x minus 2 is 0 minus 2. 0 minus 2, absolute value, equals 2. And then multiply by negative 2 and add 3. Negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, plus 3 equals negative 1. So y equals negative 1, and that's why they have this point here. Can you see this point? When x equals 0, y equals negative 1. Okay? And now from these 2 points, you can draw your line. Very simple. This is the first half. Okay, now we go to this part. We put a number for x that is more than 2. For example, I can put 3. Okay, I substitute in x minus 2, I get 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Absolute value of 1 is 1. So this is 1. And then I go to the function and I substitute. I substitute negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus 3 equals 1. So I get 1. I get 0.31. So my point is actually, it looks like I've done mistake. Yeah, yes, 3, 1. This is 3 and this is 1. That's your point. Can you see it? 3, 1. Okay. And now using these 2 points, I can graph my line. And I'm done. That's how you graph it. What is the range? The range are all the values of y. As you can see in your graph, you can see that the y for any point on the graph, let me delete so you can understand. Okay. As you can see, the top value for y is 3. Anything else is below 3. Anything else is below 3. If you take any point, you find it less than 3. And that's why y is less or equal than 3. Okay.